bass chicks and bass dudes, this is your girl here, Holly from Basschick, coming at you with another video today. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about a semi-controversial subject used in the guitar music world, which is the world of tablature. So tablature, if you are unsure of what it is basically written music that utilizes the fret numbers rather than written notes. So if we're talking about like an A note on the bass, it could be written with a 0 on the A string as tablature, and then written out in written music form, it is usually, if we're doing it on the A string, it's going to be the first open space, and then it's going to show whether it's quarter note, half note, 16th note, 8th note, whole note, whatever. So those are the differences, and tablature tends to be kind of like a cheat sheet for reading music because we are utilizing the numbers, so we're kind of listing out what fret you have to play on your fretboard. So it's kind of like a cheat sheet for that instead of actually learning to read music. And there are people who rely on tablature, and there are others who are totally against it, and then there are others who are in the middle. And I'm sort of in the middle. I definitely lean more towards learning to read music because I do have a lot of experience reading music, and I think anybody can read music, you know. But in today's video, we're not going to be talking about necessarily how to read music. We're going to talk about tablature and how you can use it to your advantage. So I have on the board here. Alright, so I have Greensleeves here, and when you're looking up tabs for a song, you're going to find hundreds of results. Choosing the best one can be challenging, so I always look for different versions. I always look at different websites and different tabs to see how they compare to each other, and you can go from there and see what sounds the closest to it. For Greensleeves, this one was very interesting. I wanted to use because this is a bass tab that I found, but it has chords in it. So I thought that was so interesting, and playing it, it actually sounds really cool. So this can almost be like if you're just like a solo musician and you want to play the song, this is a really good version for that. And it was written as so. Most tabs are going to be written like this, or they should be written like this. It's in standard tuning, so G, D, A, and E. You're going to find other tabs are going to be down tuned, so you could have like G flat, D flat, A flat, and E flat. So it just depends on the song, the artist. You know, some artists will use down tuning to play, and others will use standard, but a song like Greensleeves is going to be in standard tuning. We also don't know our time signature and our key signature, so we're not sure if it's in a 4/4 time, if it's going to be in a 3/4, 12/8, anything like that. So that can be a little bit of a setback as well to determine our tempo. And sometimes tabs will have written what kind of note it's going to be, or I'll have a stem underneath the number, which would indicate like a quarter note, and then a stem with like a little curve thing would be an 8th note. Y'all know what I mean. It just depends. I did not find it with these, so it's kind of like go off of how you know the song and use your ears in that case. And then another way to tell maybe what key signature it's gonna be in is by looking at the first note. Any song generally is going to start, you know the key, it's going to start on the root, or it's going to start within that root structure. So it could be in that chord structure for the root of like a 7th, a triad, something like that. So our D string, we have our 7 here. So the 7th fret on the D string is A. So if we go down here to the next part, we have our chord. So we are on the A string, so it's 0, so it's an open A. Our D, we have another A on the D, and then our G, our 5 is going to be a C. So as I said, the 7 is going to be an A, and then this is an open A, since we're on the A string, it's 0. And then if we go to the D string, we have our 7 again, which is another A. And then our G string, we have our 5, which the 5th fret on the G string is going to be C. So far we have A, we have 2 A's, and we have C. So it's almost looking like this is going to be in the key of A minor, but I want to keep going. And this is another way to utilize tablature, is to write the notes out. This will help you to learn the notes on your fretboard better as well. So then our next one we have is a 7. So the 7th fret on the G string is D. Okay, and then we have another chord here. So the E string, the 8th on the E string is going to be C. And then the 9th on the G string is going to be E. And then the 10th on the D string is going to be F. 9th again on the G string is going to be E. And then we have our other chord here. The 5 on the D is going to be G. The 7th on the G is going to be D. And then the 4th on the G is going to be B. And then we have our 3 and our 5. So the 3 on the E is going to be G. The 5 on the D is going to be G. And then we have our 7, and that's going to be A on our D. And then we have our 4 again, which is going to be B on the G. So from this, I can already tell, based off of the first note, the fact that there are no sharps and no flats indicates that we are probably going to be in a key that's not utilizing any sharps or flats for these particular notes. So looks like we used every note. So what we can gain from that is, since we started on the A, and then our next note is going to be AAC, and so on and so forth, it looks like we're in the key of A minor. So the key of A minor is going to be A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. And when I play it, it'll give me more indication what key it's going to be in. And it can be in several different keys throughout the song, but right now what I have written is going to be A minor from what I see. No accidentals, no sharps, no flats in there, so makes sense, right? If you want to be extra, you can look at it with the major minor equivalent. So our A minor, the equivalent to that in the major scale is going to be C. So if we write out the C major scale, you can use some of your theory training here. We're going to do it as a mode. So in this case, what is our mode going to be with our C major scale? So we have our A here. So how is the A written out with the C major scale as a mode? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and A. The same exact way. So basically, it's just the A minor, otherwise known as A, Aeolian, which is the most common mode because it's the minor scale of that major key. It's the minor equivalent to the major scale. So anytime you are looking at your major scale and you're doing modes, most common is going to be your 6th note of that scale. It's known as the Aeolian mode, which is the minor scale, the natural minor scale. So that's pretty much it. So tablature can be used to your advantage, and I would suggest, if you're really wanting to learn music and wanting to get better at your instrument, tablature is not a bad thing to start off with. Do not rely on it solely. So maybe take a couple tabs every now and again, go through them. If you're really struggling with your ear training when listening to music and hearing specific things as you're playing, tablature can be a great thing to use as a reference. I still do that. I've been playing for a long time, so I can hear pretty well with my ears, and I know notes pretty well on my fretboard. But you know what? Sometimes I do use tablature as a reference so that I get it correct. But trust your ears as well. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have anything that any lessons or any theory or anything you want me to go over in future videos, please let me know. And I will see you guys soon.